Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. We're doing a very quick video here. I'm actually recording this Sunday afternoon. I actually have the Athens Baton Rouge game on my laptop right down here. But we're going to be talking about, as of right this moment, the odds of teams making the playoffs who haven't gotten in yet. But the teams that are still fighting for a spot. Now, some of that is contingent upon that game and the other game, Columbus versus HC Venom. So I put a couple little asterisks on this, but anyway, we're going to go through the schedule and explain a little possible monkey wrench we got to throw in the mix as well. Sorry about that reflective spot. All right, so let's start off with the easiest of the possibilities. Columbus River Dragons, okay, playing as I'm recording this right now. All right, after today's game, they will have 5 games left, possibly 7. I'll explain that when we get to HC Venom because that's really where it's dependent upon as far as whether those 2 games get scheduled / played or not. All right, so the magic number for the River Dragons is this 1 point as of right this moment as I'm talking. By the time you're watching this, that could be 0, and they could have punched their ticket. All right, but in case they don't, here's the remaining schedule. Okay, we've got 3 games at Monroe, and as in addition, they have 2 games at home against the Rockall Hubsters. So, picking up 1 point in those games, in the 5 games, I think the odds are pretty good. It's never 100%, so I'm going to say 95. All right, this is of course, this is subjective. This is my best guess. All right, so let's see if we can elevate that a little bit. Okay, we're going really low tech today, but that's okay. All right, next we have the Blue Ridge Bobcats. All right, they have 4 games remaining. Their magic number is 8 points. Of course, in the FPHL, a regulation win, 3 points. So 3 wins out of 4. Now, what are their odds of that? Well, their remaining schedule, they're home for all these games, so that's good. That helps them. 2 against the Venom, who, as we saw the past 2 days, is not a pushover. All right, even though the HC Venom are currently in 6th place in the Empire Division, they're not a pushover. All right, 2 games against the Venom and 2 games against the Dashers. You would think, on paper, that their odds of getting 8 points are pretty darn good. So I'm saying 85% for them, for the Bobcats. All right. Of course, keep in mind as well with the playoffs, the play-in game between team number 4 and team number 5, which right now, as I'm recording, that's where the 2 teams are sitting at. All right. So the Baton Rouge Zydeco, 6 games remaining. So that's a good thing. Their magic number is 11, but they have 6 games in which to get 11 points. Now, looking at their schedule, not the easiest, but it's doable. You have 3 at home against the Watertown Wolves. All right, long trip for the Wolves. The 1 game against the Monroe Moccasins, who is the team below them right now. So that could be a really big matchup. And then we have 2 games against Mississippi, who, as we know, has been struggling all year. They're in last place in the Continental, only 11 wins this year. So, again, if 3 points for a regulation win is your formula, well, you're looking at, you got to get 12 wins. 4 wins for 12 points. Is that possible? Yeah, it is. Is it going to be easy? No. I think between the Bobcats and the Zydeco, I think the Zydeco have a tougher schedule, but yeah, it can be done. And these games, again, are all at home, so that helps. So I put their odds at 70% as far as they're going to be in the playoffs. So that leaves Monroe. That's the last team in the Continental fighting for a spot. By the way, it's 2-0 Athens as I'm recording this. Okay, the Zydeco. Okay, we talked about the Zydeco. Sorry, the Monroe Moccasins got distracted by the game. All right, 6 games left. Now their schedule. It's favorable, but still not easy. We got well, at least the early part is Columbus, who offensively has been struggling. All right, 3 games at home against Columbus. You take a 1-day trip to Baton Rouge to take on the Zydeco, and the Zydeco and the Moccasins have played each other pretty evenly this year. All right, then you have 2 games against Carolina. That could be tough. All right, they are currently 8 points back. That's why I have a -8 there. They're 8 points behind the Zydeco, and both teams have 6 games left to go. So the Moccasins are going to need some help, primarily from the Zydeco, but they could also get help by the Bobcats as well. So odds of making the playoffs, not 0, but not great. Looking at 25% is what I'm figuring. All right, now the Empire Division, a different story. As we know, the Rockers and the Venom have been struggling all year. That's been no secret. Now, this last weekend, the Venom made things very interesting. It looked like the Rockers had it in the bag until this weekend. The Rockers dropped 2 to Port Huron. The Venom win the first 2 games against Columbus. That's huge. All right, so the gap between the 2 teams has shrunk quite a bit. Now the Rockers currently 5 games left, and they have a magic number of 14 as of this moment I'm recording. This is dependent upon the outcome of the Columbus Venom game. All right. So right now, here's a schedule. It's pretty favorable. 3 against the Dashers. Yes, it's in Danville, and the Dashers have been playing better, but that's if you want a team to be playing as you're fighting for a playoff spot, that's a team you want to play. Now, they have a home and home left against Port Huron, and that could be trouble. So, all right, again, 3 points per regulation win. So, let's say they win all 3 games against the Dashers, that could reduce their magic number down to 5. But again, it's not done yet. So, this is going to go down to the final weekend. All right. Mathematically, it's fixed. This will not be decided until the Friday or Saturday or possibly even the Sunday of the final weekend. And maybe more. We'll talk about that in just a second. All right. So 80%. That's the odds I'm putting at the Rockers clinching that 5th and final spot in the Empire Division. HC Venom. Now, this is the tough part here. They only have 54 games scheduled. If we get to a point where 54 games by the Venom have been played and they are within 6 points of the Rockers, then the league basically is forced to schedule those final 2 games and have those final 2 games against the Columbus River Dragons to be played. But when do you do that? Where do you do that? That's why I say 5 to 7. They definitely have 5 games on their current schedule left, but they may need those 2 other games depending on how the Rockers do and depending on how they do. So here's their schedule. 2 games at Blue Ridge, a game at Watertown, a game at Binghamton, and finally Saturday or the Sunday game is up in Watertown. Or no, I'm sorry, that's at home. That is a home game for the Venom. All right. we'll have to see what happens, but it's a 10-point gap right now. And again, if that gap closes to 6 points or less, you got to figure out how to play those last two games. So that could help the Venom. So I'm giving them 20% odds. I don't think they're going to win in Binghamton. I don't think they're going to win up in Watertown. Um, it could happen, but again, just going on paper doesn't look very likely. So this is our scenario. This is what the odds are that I'm thinking that each team has at making the playoffs for the 6 teams that are currently battling for position. So it's going to be a very interesting close to the season. Um, and there's a lot of other positions that aren't settled as far as and the Empire Division. Who's going to be the number 2 team? Who's going to be the number 1 team in the Continental? All that has to be figured out. But I wanted to focus on the 6 teams still fighting on the outside, looking in at this moment. So there you go. All right. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Who do you think is going to end up claiming the spots? It'll be interesting to hear your feedback. All right. Thank you for watching, and make sure that you follow me on the Flash Audio Network as well. We're doing our game reviews of the 2 games that are currently going on as I'm recording this. And also, Facebook will be posting the up-to-date standings, and we'll also have Stars of the Week. So, busy, busy day for me. All right, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. We'll talk to you soon.